Okay, I found the problem. Since I zoom out here, there was a burr like right along where that retaining pin goes, and I was actually beginning to think for a moment that they had sent me the wrong drive, but the one that I do have is the correct one. After all, after I went ahead and measured the shaft here and measured the depth and everything else, everything was all correct. So, and then I got to looking and found some burr, and found that was burred a little bit. So I filed that down and it fits. So the next thing we do, let me adjust the camera here. Alright, and now I'm going to replace this little tiny half moon of a snap ring. These things are annoying. I'm not going to lie. That one went easier than I was expecting. And once again, I will just put just a drop or two of oil on it. And of course, watch it, it slides back and forth real easy. Now, I will take and put a drop or two, maybe I'll just put just a speck or two of grease on that, not much. Of course, that'll turn. And there's a tiny thrust washer. And I'll put just a speck of grease on that as well. Doesn't take much. Now I will hook up the actual Bendix, and it sits in there just like that. So far, so good. Now I will take the cap and we will inspect the cap. There's a little bearing in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a dab of grease and I'm just going to smear it in just like that. That's all you need. And I'm going to match up this nose cone. Let me turn the camera around over here where you can see better. There you go. This can be the hard part. And there we have it. That is together. And of course you probably can't see it. I'm going to go ahead and sock a bolt in it over here. And that is on. Now I will go ahead, and there's the bolt that I put in, and I will go ahead and install the other one. Turn it around here, you can see it. Oops. Sorry about that. And just tighten it up snug. There's a torque, and I'm thinking it's like 10-inch pounds or something. That should be good enough. Now we will try the operation. And that springs back just like it's supposed to. And one more thing, I will go ahead and put the roll pin in. And I have some white lithium grease. That I'm going to lubricate this with. Doesn't take much. And just match up the holes so they all align. I don't have a hammer close by. Yes, I do. And I will just start it. Sometimes they can be tricky to align. And sometimes you have to start all over. Yeah, it's out of line just a little bit. There we go. Now we have it back in line. And of course, almost there. And of course we have a problem. Evidently it's binding. So we will take it back apart and we will figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, I figured out the problem. The spring that I replaced was just a little bit too long. It was spring binding, so I had to cut it down just a little bit. I had to cut a few coils out of it. But as you can see, let me get the camera up here. Battery's dead, so I've got it plugged into a cord. And of course, when I press this down, you see the, whoops, you see the gear come out of it, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. And now, the only thing left, okay, well there's two things left. There's a screw missing, there it is to put this cover back on. And what I'm doing is I'm putting just a slight layer of Indian head shellac around this to seal out the elements. The weather, dirt, oil, sludge, salt, sand, you name it. If it can get in here, it will. So we just kind of seal that up a little bit. Then we take our starter and we roll it around and we just seat the cap on it. Well, I said we would. Let's see what it is. Okay. They're tricky sometimes. And there's a screw here somewhere. I've always got a screw missing. There it is. And that is an 8mm or 5/16. This is still an SAE starter, so it'll be a 5/16. And make sure that it's snug. Whoops. Well, here goes a perfectly good caliper. Well, that's junk now. Well, so now I'm with a rebuilt starter and a junk caliper. And the only thing left to do now is to test it to see if it works. You probably can't see it. I went ahead and installed it. Didn't do it. I went ahead and done it off camera. You can't see it. Maybe if I look down through here, you can barely see it down here. There it is. It's kind of hard to put in. And here is the test. I went ahead and hooked the battery up, and let's see what happens. Of course, the battery's been unhooked. I'm going to go ahead and let it run for a second. I went ahead and cycled it and done the relearn procedure. Let's try it again, see what happens. Perfect. So there it is. Starter rebuild. Not too complicated. Thanks for watching.